What's the one thing you dislike about your job?
Well, let's see. I love my job, actually.
I love my job, self-employed auto mechanic.
Actually, I love my job. I do love my job. I'm a chef.
Well, if we all worked with guys like these, maybe we would all love our jobs a little more and feel better about our lives as a whole. We're talking this morning about workplace environments. And did you realize that negativity in your workspace can create a truly toxic environment? It can impact your physical, your mental, even your financial well-being. What can we do about it? We can stop some of these bad habits. For one, the average person complaining about their job 15 to 30 times a day. What? And on Mondays, that complaining totals an average time of 34 minutes. That is plenty of time wasted. So we've got some advice here from Kathy P. Dempsey, who is the founder of the Shedding Revolution. How do we shed that kind of negativity that really is so pervasive and so contagious?
Sure. I mean, the first thing is you make a decision. I am going to be positive.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of tools. I mean, there's a real powerful, fun tool that we use, and that is these I'm allergic to negativity wristbands.
I'm allergic to it. I absolutely cannot put up.
You go to the doctor and you tell them I'm allergic to negativity now. And when somebody is negative around you, you just tell them to shed up.
Oh, okay.
So that's shed the negativity and keep your positive attitude up.
Okay.
And then if you have a tendency to get negative because we complain 15 to 30 times a day, you just kind of give yourself a little snap and say, shed up, shed up.
Okay.
And it works. I mean, workplaces are making them part of their uniform, and they're finding that they're eradicating negativity.
This is it's really profound because it's so simple, and we all should be buying into it. We've got a couple of your tips up on the screen here, beginning with pretend that every day is your first day on the job.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember the first day you were on the job?
You're
It was
all
like,
smiles.
yay. You were so optimistic, and you couldn't wait to get home and tell everybody who would listen to you.
I love that. Making that impression every day would be incredible. Play the reframe game. What does that mean?
Okay. Let's say it's supposed to be 109 degrees today, right? All right. So you can either complain about that, or you can say, you know, I am so grateful. I have air conditioning.
Yes.
So
I'm glad it's not 113.
Yes, exactly.
We play that game here with April all the time.
Yeah. So it's a real quick reframe of what's the most positive light you can see the situation.
One of the points you bring up is this going to matter in 100 years?
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big question we could ask, not just at work, but at home when the kids are going crazy or things aren't going just as we want.
Right. My dad used it all the time, and it worked. It worked.
So you've been through a long journey yourself, and this is kind of how you sort of saved yourself from a sense of despair because you felt like you didn't have the tools to deal with a true crisis, and you're trying to help the rest of us have those tools.
Yes. I was the first healthcare worker to be diagnosed HIV positive back 30 years ago, and I wasn't dealing with it really well. My support system went out, and I got taken off my job, and I ended up in a car ready to commit suicide. And somebody found me and knocked on my car door window and got me through that time. And months later, the CDC came back and said everything was negative. And it was like the wake-up call of my life in my 20s. And I said, I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the resiliency skills. I didn't have the shedding skills to navigate that work crisis, which became personal, of course. And so my passion for the Shedding Revolution and passion is to help everyone on this planet to be skilled with the #1 most important skill from birth to death, and that is shedding.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Where do we find the books?
You can go to keepshedding.com.
Okay.
Yes.
And great resources there on your website. And the Mayo Clinic has utilized them. I think we could probably all benefit from giving these a few reads. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Kathy, we appreciate it. Gina?